What's the last thing you put in, Martha?
Huh?
What did you pour in?
Milk.
Is that ordinary milk?
Sweet milk. That's just sweet milk. It's not. It's usually buttermilk people bake with it. I just do the milk and I just bake with it. It's just sweet milk with it. Oh well, there's people has a roller, you know, and does it weigh it, but I hadn't. I don't bother.
Why have you put the paper on top?
Hey?
Why the paper?
To keep the soot.
It's only for fear of soot.
It's only for fear soot. I don't need this paper if it's the new soot. But they wouldn't know the day after the rain. That's the time the soot would let go. We were used to home bake. Our young days.
Did you buy any?
Oh, I buy plenty of white bread, but I like the soda or wheaten or whatever it has files. I suppose you've been through the museum?
Yes. Yes, I have.
that off.
You should pull up and warm yourself now. And 4 brothers went to America. 2 sisters. And they first went and won.
1921. Mary went in 1923. And Davy and Harry went in 1925. And Sassy went in 1928. And Tommy went in 1929. And that was the 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
Oh, well, they were, I suppose they thought there were more work out there than they're here. Better paid, likely. I would think.
What did you were telling Tony that that you left school? Well, that was when you were 14.
Aye, me? Aye, I left school when I was 14.
Was that when was that? Was that when they all went to America?
Well, that was, no, that was when Davy and Harry went to America.
By 25.
In 25. Was that 25?
Mm-hmm.
Aye, well, Tommy went after that. Oh, good.
Tommy went in 29.
5 years after. 4 years.
Have you seen them?
Oh, why? Oh, why? They were home.
Well, I was home once.
Well, I was home once, and David was home once, and Harry was home twice, and Tommy was home
3
times, was it?
Mary was home.
I'm sure 10 times.
She's far more. I think there's 10 times home.
And Sassy was home twice.
Twice.
She was home twice.
Mary travelled the bed.
If you'd been getting a pipe out there, if they'd have sent you a pipe out to America, it would have been a wee article on with saying made in England.
Why did you leave school at 14?
Oh well, that was age. Everybody could have left school at then. 14. Now they had to stay till they're 16. But they left then at 14. Some of them left before. Oh, when I left school, I wrote in the lawn from I was 14 to now. Done all sorts of farming business. Oh.
Where was the school? Up there at the cross. Just up for Fernandez, only another road. The different road.
And how did you go to school?
Straight out the roads.
Oh.
Walking.
There were no buses in them times.
And were you wearing school uniform?
No, no.
There were no uniform in them.
You were lucky if you got what covered you. No uniform then.
What did you wear on your feet for school?
Well, you wore boots in the winter day and you went in the summer in your bare feet. You done about 6 months in boots and about 6 in your bare feet.
Why did you go in bare feet?
Oh, that was the custom then. Nearly all the weavings done school in their bare feet, and you were delighted to get running in your bare feet then. I wouldn't be as all about it today. No.
What about what do you remember about motor cars?
Motor cars?
Yes.
Oh, I don't mind very much about motor cars.
What do you remember about the first ones?
Well, the first one, I hadn't mind of the first one, but I heard them telling about the first one that went down the Larne line. The people all went down to the line to see her going down. And that was the first one, but that was before my day. After that, they got more modernised, I think. It was more horses and sidecars in them times.
What did you produce yourselves? What did you used to produce? What food?
Oh, potatoes and corn.
Lent.
And lint.
Or flakes.
Or flakes. Some calls it lint and some flakes. That was the run of the labour and like that was done with horses in them times.
What can you remember about the horses?
Oh, I mind plenty about the horses. And the line of breaking them in and getting them started to work. And the like of that, you know. But you know, the flax was grew for, that had to be grew and put in a dam and rotted in the dam and then brought out it. It stayed for a fortnight on it, and you brought it out and spread it. And then you dried it up, and that went to the mill. And it was cleaned in the mill and turned into linen after that. That was the crop of that. Well, the corn was kept for, well, you made some of it into oaten meal. And if you had plenty of it, you sold some of it. And you done the same with the potatoes, sir. You used you fed pigs, cattle, boiled them up that way to them, and if you had a field that you could do one, and you sold that. And that was really the run of the crop, like them times.
What food did you buy? What food did you have to buy? What could you not produce?
Andy and meal.
Well, you could have bought Andy and meal. You could have bought sharps. You could have bought parlour. You could have bought slummage. And there were none of them things that you could produce.
What are all those? I don't know.
Eh?
What are all those?
Well, them
was for feeding the bait and the
them
pigs.
was for feeding baits, pigs and things of that description. You could have bought them and you mixed them up with boiled fritters and fed them to the pigs or cattle or anything of that description.
Eureka.
There was stuff they called Eureka you could have. That was for feeding.
Brown.
But feeding for your sale at that time, you killed a pig every winter and put that down in the salt and cured it. And then you left it and washed it, rolled it up and hung it up and used that during the winter for bacon. That was the biggest end of the feeding in the winter day.
How exactly did you cure the pig?
Oh, you had to cure the pig. You put the pig down in cement with a good load of salt. You mostly get the heap of bag of salt and put it down, and you put it down in cement, and you put heavy rafters of things over it and weight on it, and kept it down in that salt till such times it was cured. And that was good bacon, right enough. It didn't curl up in the pan the way it would do now.
And who would kill the pig?
Oh well, there were men that was butchers through the country. There were maybe one man that was killing pigs. You see, you were keeping pigs and getting them killed for the market, you know. And there were butchers maybe killed round that's town lawn here, where they killed all the pigs in the town lawn. Then there'd been one maybe a bit away down about that road, and there'd been another in the way about the back road. There were a man, Robin Estler, killed pigs. There were a man, Bob Sloan, killed pigs down in that Lucy. And only of them men, when you were keeping a pig, only of them men would kill the pig and cut it up and all for you. Oh.
When you were doing the lint, can you tell me about that?
Oh well, there were what they called a lint pulling. Every man had a field of lint, or maybe two, and then round the town lawn there'd maybe been the lint between 20 and 30 gathered up, and I pulled that man's lint in one day. And then the next man they went to Ham and went round that way till the lint was pulled. There were a good way of lint pullers. So it had to be put in the dam. It was on the dam for about a fortnight, and then it was brought out, and you opened the beats of lint. It was in beats, pulled in beats. You opened every beat of lint then and gated it up and let it stay that way till it dried. And then you put it in the hovel. And if you were going to keep it a while, you would have took it out of the hovel and put it in a stake. And then it went to the mill.
And where did you send yours to?
Oh, to the lint mill. There were one on the Derry Road at Bellamina there, out the Derry Road there. A man that called Nisbet had a lint mill out there. And that was all cleaned then, and then when you got it cleaned that way, the show had to be taken off it. And then it was taken to the market on Saturday, and there were men there to buy it. And then it went away, well, I don't know, to somewhere, but Belfast or somewhere else, to these mills, and was made into linen.
But what would happen in the evening after you'd finished pulling your lint?
Oh well, they mostly were a crowd gathered up that evening, and there were a dance. And that lasted to near the morning. Oh why? The time of the lint pullings, you could have lost a lot of sleep. Oh aye.
What do you remember of those dances?
Eh?
What do you remember of those dances?
The dances?
Yes.
Eh?
What sort of dance would that be?
Oh, there were all classes of dances. There were polkas, highlands, Lancer sets.
The barn dance.
They were all them dances. They were different with the ones it has now, I think.
Did you both go to them?
Huh?
Oh, aye.
Oh, yeah.
You went,
There were more hours than you do. Them ones there, some of them ones.
oh, there were some dances through the country where the Lent was upon.
And would there be a lot of courting go on at the dances?
Hey,
Would there be a lot of courting go on at the dances?
coffin.
Courting,
Talking.
courting,
Oh,
courting.
oh, aye. Oh, aye, they send the women sent home, I think. I think they send them sent home all right. Aye.
Were you ever courting anybody?
Oh no, I never looked after the women. Pipe was more my. I'd rather been smoking the pipe.
Were you too busy on the farm?
You are. You're kept busy in the farm.
Oh, aye, you were busy.
You had
In
milk.
them times.
What were the things that had to be done, Martha?
Who are the milking?
And what else?
Churns. Making butter. That was the rule in them days before the creamery started. Was our
Oh, aye, there were no creamery then. It was, everybody was milking cows and churning and making butter.
selling the butter.
How did you do that? How did you make the butter?
Well, you
Oh.
churned it.
You had to keep it in crooks. You milked and you kept it in crooks till you had about maybe 4 or 5 crooks. And then you had a big churn and you put it into it and you churned it. To the butter come on the top. Yeah, it took about the most of 2 hours to churn it. And that, they took the butter, you had an article in for taking the butter out. Churned.
How did you churn it?
Oh, way a stove. It was a stove that ran up and down in the churn.
What was the museum?
Later on, there were wee churns made with flyers on them, and you turned the handle and churned. That was later on, but we churned with the other big churn now. Away at that. The kettle's boiled, maybe you'll take a cup of tea. Corn was sold by the hundred, flax was sold by the stone, and fritters was sold by the ton. You see, the way when you were selling them, it was tons of fritters. And hundreds of corn that you were selling, they were going in hundreds, and then the flax, when it was flint, was so much a stone, you said.
and how much would you have sold of the potatoes, for instance, in a good year?
Oh well, you see, you'd an idea of what potatoes you needed for seed, and you had an idea of what you needed for using, and then you could you sell the rest of them. There were whiles maybe you were selling maybe, it was only what you put on. If you put on 2 fields of them, you were maybe selling 14 or 16 ton of potatoes, you know. Could have been that way, and you would have needed the rest, you know, between seed and...
How many tons would you have kept for seed and for eating?
Well, you maybe had kept about 6 ton. You see, you were using them over the most of a year, you know.
Didn't you do something with the bog bean?
By bog bean? Oh, aye, you could have put bog bean in a stew.
Wasn't it a remedy for something?
Well, they said it was good for anybody, you see, bog bean there, that it was good for them.
The blood.
I don't know whether it was or not, you know, it was...
But the Ireland's not, that Ireland times that's every year they pulled it and made it.
Oh, aye.
Pulled it and made it and stewed it and drunk it.
Was that alcohol?
No. It was just batter.
It was just
Batter.
bitter.
Oh, it was.
Were there any other remedies like that? Any other?
Oh, no, I don't think there were anything at the...
There was something, if they got a cut, they had a flower, they could put the leaf in their hand and that healed it, they said.
Mm-hmm.
I never tried it, but...
Oh, no, but it was smart enough, could have made wine or wee stall.
Did you?
But no, never tried to make it, but there were plenty made it. I suppose you've seen wee stall. I'm sure they make it back there. They used to make it the way back there next to bread.
And that's made from what?
Oh, they could have made it out of sugar, I think. They said that good pure thing they made out of sugar. Oh, they were now on making it, I think.
What are the different methods, the different ways to cook over the fire?
Oh, I don't think there much difference if you... it was on to what you were baking. If you baked oaten cake on the fire, you would have hardened it round the fire after it was ready to... it was half hardened, and then it would have been put round the fire, set something round the fire and set it up again, and that's what it took to finish it out. That was if you were making oaten cake. But for any other, it was just baked nearly all the same. There weren't much difference on it. It had to be all baked in the griddle. It didn't matter whether you were baking fudge, oaten cake or soda bread. It was all baked in the griddle, but the oaten cake had to be hardened round the fire to get the right hardness at the finish.
Other than the griddle, what else would you use?
Oh, you would have used the pan for bacon or frying eggs or frying bacon. It was the pan was used for it. It took that. And if you wanted to bake a loaf, you could have baked that in a pot. You had to put a fire on below it and one above it. You put the coals on the lid it and had the fire on below it and put the coals up in the lid it to harden a loaf in an oven pot. And if you weren't sure whether it was ready or not, when you lifted the lid off, you take a knitting needle and put it down onto the loop, and if it come out clean it was ready, and if the duke stuck to it was hardly ready. That was the only way they had a new one, you see, when it was closed up there. No.
Well, what else would you use a pot for?
Oh, the pot was used for warming water or boiling the dinner on or anything of that, the scraps.
Did you ever put anything in the fire itself to cook?
No, on the fire?
Yes.
No, no.
We used to burn nuts in hot eve, hazelnuts. We used to burn them out to sea. A man and woman to see if it was going to be a march or no.
How did you do that, Martha?
Well, they set them down there in the cold. Then if they went away separated, it was no good.
Would you say that you were self-sufficient, Paul?
Oh, you could have been. You could, if you had plenty of praties and oaten meal and plenty of fire, and you could live through a blowing of snow if you weren't near a shop. You wouldn't have starved with hunger if you'd done things.
Did you think of yourselves as self-sufficient?
Oh, well, you couldn't just think, you needed the like of sugar tea and the like of that, you see, you couldn't have done for that. Oil, wouldn't have been easy making that lump burn if you hadn't no oil. You couldn't have done that part of the business.
You left
But,
other things out of.
But I mean to say in the line of blowing of snow, if you'd been stuck up, you weren't bait. A man that wasn't living on a farm, you see, he wouldn't have been in that shape in the time of blowing of snow or anything, you know, because if he hadn't learned, he wouldn't have hidden them things, you know. Britters and everything like that.